Hi everyone, welcome to this channel. In this case, I'm going to give you 5 things an English teacher should know to teach our student. I consider as an English teacher, we need to innovate our techniques and methodology to help our student acquire a new language. Okay, let's start. Do you know about CLT? Yes, I think that you know. He is Steve Krashen. He is a professor in United States, and he mentioned about this approach. CLT, it means communicative language teaching. So with this approach, the student interact with other in the target language. Yeah, in this approach, students are using the language instead of studying. Okay, so in this video, we are going to continue speaking about this theory. So the first theory is acquisition and learning hypothesis. Okay? So we need to know what is the difference about acquisition and learning. Okay? As an English teacher, we need to choose one kind of method or techniques to teach our students. So I invite you that you choose acquisition. Why? Because acquisition is when the student interact in meaningful or natural environment. Okay, so there we have this image when is where is indicating what or how is the natural environment. For example, if the students are talking in a phone, it is nature. So, for example, the students are reading a news, an interesting news. This is the natural environment. Or when the students are watching TV, or when the students are writing a message, or listen to music, or maybe writing an email or chatting in English. So it is a natural environment where the students are exposed in real context about language, okay? The learning is formal environment when the student take a course, when a student like a subject, or it can be the grammar rules or how we need to form a sentence. This is the learning. But we, as an English teacher, we need to choose acquisition because we need to teach our student and be the active participant in the natural environment, okay? Let's start. Let's start. So number 2, there we have the natural order hypothesis. It suggests that children learning a second language follow a natural order for grammatical morphemes regardless on their first language. For example, according this author, that is really important, know the natural order hypothesis. For learning English, we don't have a specific order. The children, they learn the English, listen. For example, there we have imagine where his mom are saying, "Hello, baby, how are you?" And I am your mom. So the children or baby listen that what is his mother is talking. So in this case, the baby acquired listening his mother, and the baby learned the first word papa or father, mother, mom. So this is the natural natural order where the baby acquired the first word. We need to know this kind of natural order because the children acquire listening or practicing the language. There is acquiring a language. The babies can acquire, for example, Chinese, Germany, or English, or another language that they can acquire but in natural order. Okay, let's continue. So in this case is number 3, the input hypothesis. What form of input should be comprehensible? So we need to know how we can apply the input activities. For example, it can be reading articles, histories, biographies, oral texting, storytelling, movie talk, games, conversation, question from the teacher. So everything that we need to apply in our class, okay? So there we have the examples about the input activity that we need to apply in the class for enhance the student acquire a language. If we apply the important input activities so the student can be related about this topic or about the class that we are going to develop. So we need to apply input activities. So, but it can be in target language. We don't use Spanish or another language. We need to use small words or phrases, but in a second language, in this case, in English. Okay, let's go. So number 4 is, what is the affective fiddler? Affective fiddler is when the learner attitudes, how it affects the relatives to acquire a second language. It can be negative feelings such as lack of form motivation, lack of self-confidence, and learning anxiety. Okay, so it is really important motivate our student learn a new language. So in some case, our students said, oh no, the English is boring. I don't like English. I can't do it. So they define that the English is really difficult to learn, but we as a teacher, we need to inspire our student love learning English, creating input activity. So to create these activities, we need to follow the manner to the motivate the learning acquisition. This is really important, the affective fielder, because when they are really motivated, they can achieve a new language. But if they are in negative feelings, with lack motivation, they can't learn a new language. It's really important this. In this image or in this picture, we have the received language for this is input activities, affective feedback, and output activities, okay? So input activities are can be help the student acquire new words, new phrases, new language, listening and reading. But the student need to read 4 hours every day to acquire new vocabulary, new sentence. And then with affective fiddler, they are going to motivate, and after that, they are going to speak or write these output activities that we need to create to develop a new language, okay? So teaching to communicate, no grammar rules. So if we teach the grammar rules, the student can learn how is the grammar, but it is important. It is not important because when we are going to speak, we don't start thinking, how I am going to speak. Where is the subject? And then a verb, then a complement. No, we need to communicate. This means that the student need to express their ideas, their feeling. The student need to process the meaning and then communicate with other people. Or the student do this activity like a grammar translation or some activities focusing in learning, but they don't acquire new language. As an English teacher, we need to teach to communicate our students. It is really important how to do it, practicing with input activities, output activities, affective failure, motivation. So if we practice this kind of approach, method, techniques, focus in according Steve Krashen theories, we need to have the goal that as an English teacher, okay? If our students are speaking in English and understand the message, we are great teacher, okay? Good luck. Thank you. See you. Bye-bye.